So the other day I was diving on my regular spot and I found this super deep dark cave. Now there wasn't anything in it at the time, but I am convinced there's some big fish living in there. So for the next week or so I'm going to drop a baited camera on it every day and let's see what we find. First things first though, I've got to take this super heavy concrete block all the way out there. Wish me luck. The currents here are absolutely wild, so in order to stop the cameras from getting swept away, I basically fix them to these big heavy concrete blocks. Now, in order to swim with these, we have to use this thing called a lift bag, which is this big orange bag you can see here. We basically just fill this with air, which makes it way easier to move, although I did have to drag this one from about 3 meters all the way down to 25 meters. Once you're at the spot, we basically just let all the air out of the bag and set it down on the sand. As ever, we then set the camera on the block, pump a bit of bait into the water, and cross our fingers for some monsters. So really early on, we saw this massive school of surgeonfish. I think these guys are actually blue-tailed unicorn fish. There's been lots of bait fish swimming around recently, so fingers crossed that means we might get some big stuff. The first predatory fish that came in was this green jobfish. Now, this guy is actually about probably 80 centimeters long. He's an absolute beast and we regularly see him on the dives. There was also this big yellow lip emperor swimming around. These guys are obviously named yellow lip emperors because of their big old yellow lips. And interestingly, in most of the literature, it says that these guys only get to about 60 centimeters, although I've seen this one on a dive and it is definitely bigger. Really nice fish, don't see them very often, and they often stay away from divers. And we also had a cool little swim by from a great barracuda. This one's actually pretty little, and you can actually see he's being bothered by, it looks like 1, maybe 2 cleaner wrasse. Now, this is our first glimpse of one of the monsters that tends to hang around this cave. I had to do a bit of research on this guy because I wasn't entirely sure what he was to start with, but he is actually a brown marbled grouper, and although it says these guys get to about 1 meter, this one is definitely bigger than that, and I've seen him multiple times whilst diving down there. It's pitch black, and we're about to go drop another camera. Now, it's pretty strongly advised not to dive this section of reef at night because of the currents. So I am crossing my fingers that we do not get swept away. Now, I've got absolutely no idea how this is going to go. I'm going to use one of the video lights from my big camera setup to light the scene in front of the baited camera. Maybe the fish like it, maybe they don't. I have absolutely no idea. But needless to say, I am pretty sure these night drops are going to become part of the schedule going forwards, and we'll try them in all sorts of different spots. So if it doesn't work this time, I'm sure we'll make some improvements. Wish me luck. Now, as predicted, this wasn't the most productive bruv, and we just found that we saw the same fish swimming around over and over again. I'm pretty sure the big stuff is probably put off by the bright light, so back to the drawing board with this one, but we will definitely be trying the night bruvs again soon. So, it's about 6 AM. I'm absolutely knackered. but we're going to go drop another camera. First things first though, we've got to go pick up the camera that we dropped last night. Again, I've got no idea whether that's going to have anything on it, but we'll see. I've got a really good feeling about the one today though. Like, the water's been pretty cold recently. There's been a lot of really cool stuff sighted on the reefs here, including dolphins actually. We've been seeing dolphins swimming up and down the reef here over the last week or so, so fingers crossed. Both spinner dolphins and bottlenose, so you never know what we might get. First things first though, we've got to wait for this water to come up a bit because it's currently super low. So give it a few hours or so, we should be able to get over the reef break, and yeah, fingers crossed for some good action. So again, it was the blue-tailed unicorn fish that kicked off the show, and it was really cool watching this big school of fish descend from the top of the screen. We also had a couple of visits from the bluefin trevally, although after swimming past a couple of times, they soon disappeared. The red snapper that we often see also came in and out of the cave a few times, but unfortunately he didn't hang around very long. If you haven't seen it already, go and check out one of my shorts showing this red snapper, I think, smashing up one of my bait cages a few years ago. We actually had to change the design of the cages because of this guy. This blue-spotted puffer also hung around for quite some time, although if you look closely, he has a little visitor. This little chap is a white-eyed moray eel. He actually hung around for about 30 minutes looking for scraps. The yellow-lip emperor also turned up again, although this time he was here for a different reason, which was to be cleaned. Our first really cool visitor was this marbled stingray. Now, I do call this cave the grouper cave for good reason, and we actually had an epic visit from a very cool fish. Check this out. This big chap is a Malabar grouper. Now, these guys can get to about 2.5 meters long. I've got no idea how big this one is, but I would guess about 1.5 meters. He was super curious and hung around the bait cage for probably about 30 minutes. Although, I think he did get a bit frustrated towards the end. So as you guys know, this is my shark cam series, so I was super happy to see that we recorded one of these guys. So this is a brown banded bamboo shark, and it's actually a pretty big one. If you haven't seen it already, I've just posted a video of me finding a bamboo shark egg casing in the shallows. So my next mission is to find the youngster. Now, just when I thought this bruv couldn't get any better, we had a fantastic surprise. Now, if you remember from before, I said we'd seen these guys from the shore over the last few days, but I didn't think we were going to get them on the bruv. So if you look closely at the top of the screen, you can see a big pod of dolphins. Now, dolphins were pretty near the top of my hit list for this series, so I was super excited to get these on film. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure these guys are spinner dolphins. So when we went to pick up the camera on the last day, I saw this big old face staring back at me. So this guy is a massive honeycomb moray eel. I'm pretty sure he's probably about 1.5 meters long, and his body is probably about 1 foot tall. However, this guy was here for one reason: to eat. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like the episode and you want me to continue making videos like this, then I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe. I'm also posting some questions at the moment on my community page, basically asking people to vote on where I should drop the next camera, so definitely go check that one out. Now, as promised, next video comes out next week. I've just checked the footage for this one and we actually recorded something epic, so definitely do not miss that one. I will leave you with a little teaser. Enjoy.